Hello everyone, and welcome to Kick It. This week we look at devs getting revenge, the coolest phone charger around, and an old friend helps us look at the new spiritual sequel to Myst. First off, some sad delay news. WayForward have had to announce that Shantae's release has been moved back about 6 weeks from its September 27th release date, mainly to finish polishing off the title and bug fixing. They've also announced that the PS3 and 360 version have been cancelled. Well, at least one platformer knew when to quit. The other delay is sadly Bloodstained. With the game originally planned for release next year, EGA has announced it will move back to the first half of 2018. He has also hired a second dev team to help with the process. With this lengthy delay, I wonder if they'll even pursue the Wii U version or just move to NX. We've contacted the team and we'll let you know if or when we get any news. Allison Road is back. The PT successor, which left its successful Kickstarter campaign to team up with publisher Team 17, was announced to be cancelled earlier this year, has now come back. In a statement to IGN, Allison Road's creator Christian Kessler confirmed that he would continue to work on the game on his own, this time under his new label called Far From Home, co-founded with his wife, who is also his business partner. Now, do you recognize this?
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Well, the original creator of the comic, Casey Green, launched a Kickstarter at the beginning of last month to make a plush doll of his meme-tastic dog on fire with the help of Soft Stuff Creations, and made almost $500,000, which is very fine indeed. And lastly, this isn't exactly Kickstarter news, but Interplay is looking to sell off a number of its IPs. Now, you're probably asking, what else do they have besides Fallout? Well, how about Earthworm fucking Jim? Yes, the legendary cult side-scroller is one of the many IPs Interplay is selling off. Now, I'm not saying that someone should go and buy the rights like, I don't know, Doug to Apple so we can go to Kickstarter to make Earthworm Jim 4, but no, wait, that's exactly what I'm saying. Do it! Do it now! This is a last-minute update. Apologies if my voice sounds awful, I've come down with the flu. Anyway, Yacht Club Games announced 2 days ago the second expansion pack for Shovel Knight, entitled Spectre of Torment. This new expansion stars Spectre Knight, who has a devastatingly fast slash attack and the ability to climb walls. Right now, this new content is sent for all platforms in spring 2017 and will be free. They also announced that thanks to Fangamer, they will be releasing a physical copy for the PS Vita. I'd make a joke here, but I feel the Vita has suffered enough already. Well, we knew this was coming. First, it was just a bunch of fuzzy pickle RPGs that were made as a love letter to Shigatsu Itoi. But now it's all about love letters to both him and Toby Fox. And no, I'm not talking about the 15 billion fan-made sequels to Undertale on Game Jolt. No, today, we're talking about Glitched. You ever wonder about the characters in an RPG? The ones in the small starting town? How they came to be? Their pasts? Well, that's what On House Studios presents to us in Glitched, who came to Kickstarter asking for $7,500 and left with almost 70,000. They were smart enough to include a demo of the game which stars our hero Conrad as he plans to leave his hometown of Bretwicks. He meets up with his friend Gus, and that's when things get weird, with the emergence of the glitch, which seems to erase Conrad from history. It's then the fourth wall is absolutely destroyed when we as the player start conversing with Gus as he sets out to leave the town himself, into a world that seems to be from another dimension. The battle system takes the turn-based style of Earthbound with the Mercy fight option from Undertale. Thankfully, no bullet hell this time, but the unique feature in this game is the Essence system. Essentially, Gus's actions will determine how other people interact with him. It's been separated into 6 sections, and they are represented by the colour of his hat. While the campaign may be over, I still wanted to show this game off as I feel it's got something very interesting to show us. Glitch is set for release in the beginning of 2018.
Hello everyone. I'm back.
Sometimes it's hard being a big name developer, having to deal with shitty publishers, your own company stabbing you in the back, and then being attacked by zombie gamers. That's what we get in Dawn of the Devs. Being developed by Underdog Studios, this 2D platformer has you fighting in an alternative universe where all the negative aspects of this industry have taken physical form. From giant trolls, swashbuckling pirates, and Metacritic cultists. And you plow through them all as Tim Schafer, Cliffy... What? Oh! As Tom Schiffer, Bliff Klozinski, and Hiro Komiya. With stretch goals for Nick Gable, Shiro Mayata, and Malo Devaru. Yeah, it's obvious this is an absolute parody, and if you think the actual devs have a problem with this, yeah, think again. The characters each have their own unique abilities parodying their devs' best work, and honestly, this is probably the funniest game I've seen in a long while. As long as Bliff gets an old costume of him wearing green ears, and Nick Gable has an ultimate move where he presents Quarter Vitality 3 to the world and everyone blows up, that would be awesome! Dawn of the Devs is looking for $65,000, and they've made about $12,000 already with 27 days to go. The game is set for November 2018 with stretch goals for PS4 and Xbox One. I can't wait for them to promise Dean Surrey to be part of the game, but in the end fails to appear.
I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed, but I must admit that such conjecture is futile. Still, questions about whose hands might one day hold my missbook are unsettling to me. I know my apprehensions might never be allayed, and so I close, realizing that perhaps the ending has not yet been written.
Back in 1993, brothers Rand and Robin Miller teamed up with some friends to make a game. Forming the company Cyan, they set out to make an adventure mystery title using pre-rendered 3D visuals. The game had you transported to a mysterious island without any direction or instructions whatsoever. That game would be called Myst. And for years, it would be the highest selling PC game of all time. Until Half-Life kneecapped them with a crowbar. Over the years, Cyan will release numerous sequels, with the last one being released in 2005. However, 3 years ago, Cyan came to Kickstarter with the intent of bringing the mystique and magic of Myst to the modern generation, with its brand new title, Obduction, making over $1.3 million in the process. Now, being a console scrub, I never actually played Myst. Yeah, I know. But thankfully, I know someone who has.
Cyan Worlds has a formula they like to follow when making games. Drop the player in a fantastical world, let them explore, then put puzzles in their path. Players solve the puzzles, unlock more of the world and story, then more puzzles appear, repeat until the end credits roll. That may sound like every other adventure game since their first game, Myst, but Cyan are the masters of this formula, and they prove it again with their first original title in over a decade, Abduction, not spelled how it sounds. You begin the game in a campground before a flying space artichoke suddenly teleports you to the world of Hunrath, an enclosed human settlement surrounded by an energy dome on an alien world. As you explore, you learn the town's history and about the other abductees who made their home here, but now the town has been mysteriously abandoned. With the help of a cryptic survivor sealed in a bunker, thus saving them the trouble of animating another character, you try to figure out what happened and just maybe find a way home. The game looks beautiful thanks to some brilliant use of the Unreal 4 engine. The environments are detailed and exotic, and they make my system cry. Thankfully, it still looks great on medium and below settings, but I wouldn't be surprised if another patch or two come out to help optimize it. While shiny graphics might seem wasted on a simple first-person puzzler, they help make the world seem more real, allowing you to get drawn in as you play around with the various objects and devices. The story in the game is a bit lacking, with a very hands-off approach to storytelling. Most of it is shown instead of told, which normally is a very good thing. But here it's a little too easy to miss an important plot point just because you missed reading a journal or an errant note. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad story by any means, but I was still fuzzy on a couple pieces of the plot by the time I reached the ending, and had to reread a couple journals to understand exactly what had happened. As part of the game's Kickstarter campaign, donors could have specific items added into the background of the game, artifacts you can find around the starting world in various areas. They add a nice bit of charm and realism to the game, though the subtitle that comes up every time you find one is a little immersion breaking. Thankfully, there's an option to turn them off in the menu. Uh-oh. I think Jonan Vasquez is gonna sue somebody. Where the game really shines is in the gameplay, as it should. Players can choose to explore the world via the traditional free-roaming mode, or by a point-and-click system that guides the player around via nodes, a nice throwback to Cyan's roots in Myst and Riven. You also have the ability to take screenshots in-game and review them later, which helps the player keep track of important notes, codes, and diagrams. Similar to Myst's method of traveling between worlds via linking books, Abduction has the player travel to other alien worlds via seeds. But instead of just moving the player, it moves them and their immediate surroundings, so entire chunks of the world move with you. This becomes the core of Abduction's puzzle system, as you alter the environment of one world by swapping a section from another. This lets you clear obstacles or move devices between the worlds. This is also unfortunately Abduction's biggest weakness, as this swapping mechanic will require a lot of backtracking, not helped by the sometimes long load screens every time you shift to another world. More than one puzzle involves swapping an area or object to another world, altering it there, and swapping it back, and keeping track of how it needs to be altered or what position it needs to be in is more than a little tricky. I'm also embarrassed to admit I was stuck at a section in the third world with no idea how to proceed, until I discovered the elevator I was using could go down one more floor. But a lot of the bigger puzzles are like that, relatively simple solutions that are marred by overthinking them. There's also a portion in the later game where you need to solve puzzles using an alien grid that runs off a base 4 math system. This is similar to a puzzle in Riven where you had to learn the native island's counting system. You're given the tools to learn the basics, but I've never had the best head for this kind of math, so I found I could brute force the puzzles with a bit of trial and error. I'd also like to add that I really enjoy the soundtrack to the game, composed by Robin Miller, who also plays the role of CW in the game. While his brother Rand Miller has had a role in making every Myst game since the first, Robin hasn't worked with him since Riven, the sequel to Myst, and as a fan, it feels good to have the brothers making games together again like this. The game's length will vary depending on your own skill level with these kinds of games. If you're a master of escape room logic and just push through the puzzles, it will likely only last you 3 or 4 hours, but then again, Myst could be solved in 5 minutes if you knew what you were doing. For the average person, you're looking at closer to 8 hours if you choose to explore and don't get stuck too long in certain areas. Abduction has a good balance of classic adventure game design and more modern mechanics, so older gamers will get a nice feeling of nostalgia, but it will still be palatable to newer gamers. is not exactly outside of what we've come to expect from Cyan Worlds, so it may be a disappointment for fans expecting something more, but still an awesome return for the studio that redefined the adventure game genre in the 90s.
Since the launch of Pokemon Go, the main setback, besides Niantic themselves, has been the drain on batteries and the investment in portable chargers. Since practically day one though, people have been creating some amazing Pokemon-related portable chargers. But this one beats them all as a way to both hold and charge your phone. And it is, Officer Jenny?
Pokedex!
Introducing the brand new Pokedex case and portable charger, supporting a whopping 5200 mAh with a super fast charging time. Charging for only 15 minutes will give your phone enough power to run for up to 30 hours. The blue button on the top will tell you how much power you have left, and essentially looking cool as fuck. The charger will support most current iPhones and Galaxies. Oh, and as for the name, get this. The Chargemander. Okay, you win. As for the price, be prepared to spend about $90 on this. But for the power and the Poke cred, I think it's very much worth it. Well folks, that's it for me this week. Thanks again to Dax from Late Reviews for helping out, and we'll see you all next time.